Now, how do the youth help the family? I would call this purifying traditions. We said that elders pass down the traditions, but they pass it down with some extraneous traditions as well. For example, the movement originates here in Kerala. None of these extraneous traditions will be noticed when it's here, but you take them to Australia, they're definitely noticed. UK, they're definitely noticed. What I mean is some of the cultural aspects and different aspects. I've already talked to many people here just personally, and they shared that was some of the struggles they were going through. These extraneous traditions end up becoming a stumbling block for people trying to accept the gospel and enter into the movement. So the youth, with all their passion, they help free the movement of this. See, otherwise the movement becomes fat, because it takes on all kinds of customs, rituals, formulas, and it becomes something, very maybe Pharisaic. But the youth try to strip it of that, keeping it to its pure. Okay, what is really part of the Jesus youth tradition and what is just a cultural bias or whatever? So it keeps the movement lightweight, flexible, dynamic, young, evangelistic. So what does it mean to draw vibrancy from the church? We said that Jesus Christ is the most vibrant man, and the church is that presence of Christ in the world today. The church is a sacrament of Christ's action. So if we want to be more vibrant, more authentically vibrant, we need only to dive deeper into the mystery of the church, draw deeper from the mystery of the church. Some of the implications of doing that for us: grace over methods. We find that the most effective method of evangelization is grace itself. We often would strive to find relevant information for youth, trends, the latest information. But what's the most relevant information? The gospel, the good news, the unadulterated truth. Contemplation behind action. So that means no matter how committed a person is, no matter how hard he works, without an interior life, he's not able to build the kingdom of God. For without me, you can do nothing. That's what the Lord said. And seeing mission as vocation rather than a series of projects. These are some of the areas. They're drawn more in the paper, drawn out more. So altogether, the vibrancy gets a genuine form, consistent and constant. And what does it mean to draw familyness from the church? This is a beautiful statement by Pope Benedict. For the church is sent to the world to announce and witness, to make present and spread the mystery of communion, which is essential to her. Essential to her, meaning that the mystery of communion belongs to the essence of the church. I think in Raiju Cheriton's presentation, he said, wherever I go, if I meet a Jesus youth, I feel like we're part of the same family, right? And I think we can all agree to that experience. But no one can say that Jesus youth is an intimate spiritual family, plus, additionally, as a bonus point, we're Catholic. That would be absurd. It's precisely because we're Catholic that we're an intimate spiritual family. If we draw from the mystery of communion that the church shares, one way you could see it maybe is that the communion of the church is the material cause of the communion of the movement. And another aspect is the rediscovery of the church. Jesus Youth has a special role of bringing a renewed kind of rediscovering of the church. I always think that every small group, every Jesus Youth experience should be a total microcosm of the Catholic Church, of the experience of the church. This is, again, a beautiful quote. We must accept the mystery that the church is at the same time a large tree and a very small grain. So that means that Jesus Youth has to rediscover at every moment that experience of the apostles. They were 12 people. They had no idea what to do. They were scared out of their minds, but they approached with humility. They prayed for power and direction from above. And that's everywhere I look at Jesus Youth, I see that. That experience is renewed everywhere. Any new place, we don't just go there and bring down Jesus Youth from above. We try to rediscover, that early experience of the church. And some of the growing challenges. I think one thing that we're going to find in terms of youthful vibrancy is there's been a shift, I believe, from extroversion to introversion. You see it more in Europe first, probably, maybe America second, and then I think it's spreading to other parts of the world. You can read more about it in my synopsis. Security of a family. there's a danger of judgment as the movement grows more in its ways. Is Jesus Youth still a place for sinners? That's a question that I always ask myself. A need for shift from migrant to missionary. A migrant, when he goes to another country, he brings with him the whole country. But a missionary, we study Mother Teresa or the other saints, how did they move to other countries? And finally, formation. We really need a dedicated effort for a system. Maybe some people would have to dedicate their lives for this. And of course, a lack of dedicated priests. Thank God we have 4 seminarians, but they'll only be out in 10 years. 10 years ago, we weren't even an international movement. Now we're in 25 countries. 10 years from now, where will we be? I don't know, but I doubt that 4 priests would suffice for that. So may have to think about that. Some proposals for solutions are made in my paper. And that's it. Thank you very much.